You are now listening to the Sin and Twin podcast.
Welcome back to the Sin and Twin podcast. It's your girl Sin, and the twin is back. What's up?
Yo, what up? It's Har Bernard, a.k.a. Jay Bernard.
Yep. And we are here today with a solo episode. I guess you could call it solo. It's still two of us. No guest, just us. So the premise for today's episode, we had posted an opportunity for people to ask us some questions. So we're going to be answering those questions. And I love the questions that came in because I could just see this going south.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
I haven't heard any of them yet.
Yeah, Jay doesn't know the questions yet. I figured it was better if I kind of threw him through a couple of loops here. You know, we like to keep it authentic for you guys. You ready to get started?
Yo.
I don't like your judgy face right now. I really don't. I can't live. I can't live forever being judged. Okay, so let's get into the questions that we were asked. Side note, we will make this a reoccurring thing. At the end of the episode, I'll give you some more information on how you can submit your questions to us. And then just after every episode, we'll answer your questions. And we like to make it a little more interactive. So that's what we're going to be doing. So, you ready?
Yo.
Okay. So one of the questions that we got was, well, a few people reached out about my name, which I didn't think was going to be a question, but a couple of people.
Sandaya.
Right. Yeah. A couple of people asked me how it's pronounced. Somebody asked if it was made up. That was a question too.
Mm-hmm. That's like your AKA.
Right. Yeah. That's my street name, yo.
Name. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stage.
Street
That's right.
name. That too.
So,
dog name.
word. And then somebody asked me if it's short for Cindy. So that just opens up the floodgates right there because
Because Cindy is longer.
what?
Oh, never mind.
Well, when people see Sin, they don't think Cynthia. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I'm thinking Cindy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you meant Sin, short for
Right. They were asking. Yeah, exactly. Is Sin short for Cindy? So my name is Cyndia. I tell everybody it's like India with an S in front of it. It's like the easiest way I can get people to not mess it up, right? I get the craziest things like you said, Sindaya.
Sandaya.
Yep. Cynidia.
Cynidia. That's a good one.
Yeah. I get that a lot.
Ooh.
People really fumble with it, which it's fine. I mean, I've obviously had it my whole life. So to me, it's pretty simple because it's spelled phonetically
but you're
correct.
the only person besides our mother that's named that.
Right. Which let's talk about that really quick, right? So people always find it strange, but I have my mother's name. But the story of how we got our name cracks me up every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my mother's name was supposed to be Cynthia, right? But our darling grandfather, OG Puerto Rican, dopest man on the planet, right? He misspelled her name on her birth certificate. So instead of Cynthia, he wrote Cyndia and then played it off like an OG would, right? He's like, nah, I meant to do that. I like Cyndia better. That was the intention all along, right? So my name was actually a typo. Technically, my mother's name was a typo. My mother was planning on naming me Stacy.
Stacy.
Shout out to all the Stacys out there. We love you, but I'm not one of you, right? It just doesn't, I couldn't picture myself as a Stacy. And my maiden name is Bernard. So Stacy Bernard would have been my name. And because growing up, I had a crazy identity issue, right? It was like so important to me that everybody knew that I was Puerto Rican. I don't, I am self-aware enough to know that that's ridiculous in its own way. But for me, I was like, with the last name Bernard, it wasn't Puerto Rican enough because it's not, it's French, right?
Yep.
So growing up, I like had something to prove. You know, everybody else was Rivera, Rodriguez, you know what I'm saying? Like all the typical Hispanic last names, and I was Bernard. And then, you know what it was?
Fake ass Boricua.
Whatever. We also, you know, in the town that we grew up in, it wasn't as, things weren't as diverse. Yeah. And it was very ignorant. So I used to get told a lot too that because my eyes were green, my last name was Bernard. It's like, you're not fully Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? Like, it was always like questioned. So I think that that's where the whole identity thing came from. We're getting deep. Anyway, my mom was intending to call me Stacy.
Stacy Bernard.
Yeah.
And then you would have had to deal with all the Stacy's mom jokes
Oh,
when that
man.
joint came out.
Remember?
Yeah.
I swear, it's like every time I heard that song, I was like, thank God she didn't name me that.
That's what I'm saying.
She would have loved it, though.
Definitely.
Mom would have loved, Stacy's mom being about her.
Do you remember that song, Chaos?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was going to say, though, that's actually common in a lot of Latino families from our generation. Like, my name is Jeffrey, but I'm
Right.
Puerto Rican.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was a common thing to give your children predominantly white or European names
Mm-hmm.
just so they don't face social stigma growing up.
Right. Right. And I don't know where she got Stacy from. I think she recently told me that there was a famous Stacy somewhere, or she like heard it somewhere, and
We could have called you Stacington.
She wanted to be Stacy's mom.
I honestly think that she just knew that was coming, and that's where it was coming from. Jay was always gonna be Junior, right? You want your government out there?
Junior. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you mean, Mike? Yeah.
Jay was
Everybody
always.
knows me.
I know.
Big
Okay,
Hav in the building.
all right,
What are you talking
Rockefeller.
about?
stand down. Okay.
I go by all names that are mine.
Wow, that's prolific.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jay was always going to be Javier Bernard, right? He's a junior. He was always going to be my father's junior. We're Puerto Ricans, and who doesn't make their firstborn son a junior in the Puerto Rican world? When my mom gave birth to us, she opted to be completely unconscious. It was a C-section. She didn't want to be half awake. She was like, put me out. I need a nap, right? While she was still unconscious, my dad, so he claims, was so proud of everything she just went through that he named me after her. He gave me her name. So long story short, my name just comes from a bunch of overly confident men. You know what I'm saying? My name came to fruition because, you can't tell a Puerto Rican man nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that comes from. It's pronounced Cynthia. I don't like to be called Cindy. My mom really liked to be called Cindy. I don't like it. Probably goes back to the identity stuff. Sin or Cynthia.
Or Junior. She prefers Junior too.
we
'Cause she's a junior.
we could give it a shot. But probably not.
Cindy Bernard Jr.
That's also common in Latin households to have like the daughter take the mother's name also.
Is it really?
That is very common.
Like, I wish people would stop making it such a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
In Puerto Rico, I have an aunt and a cousin. They have the same name. I have another aunt and cousin with the same name. Growing up, I've known a lot of people who had the same name as their mom. It's
honestly,
very common in Latin culture, I think.
I honestly think that we just be running out of names. We be making so many kids. Like, my grandfather got 11 brothers and sisters.
I mean, how many
10 or
Jose
11, something
Riveras
like
can
that.
there be?
Right. He's got like 10 or 11 brothers and sisters, right? And there's like 4 of them that have the same name, but like jumbled, right? Like Luis Miguel or Miguel Luis or, whatever. So the next question, which I think you're really going to love, and I'm not going to tell you who submitted this question, but their question was, who really scribbled out all of our faces in the yearbooks when we were kids?
Oof.
Jay.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
No?
Definitely wasn't me.
You're sticking to that?
Yeah, I swear. I would tell you guys at this point.
Go ahead, tell the story.
Unless I don't remember, but I wouldn't do something like that.
I don't remember this
I'm not a hater.
too well. It's like a vague memory. So what was it that happened?
Like, I like pranking you guys. So, like, crossing everybody's face out in the yearbook and then not saying anything.
Well, give them a little context. What happened here?
We went through some old yearbooks.
As adults, right?
Yes.
I feel like we
yes. This was
discovered
like
this.
recent, like
Yeah.
in the past year, maybe
Right.
2 years. Anyway, we went through like a bunch of old photos in yearbooks. And for some reason, there's this one yearbook. Now, there was a lot of us kids that we all grew up in the same house. There was 6 of us. Me, my sisters, and my cousins. And this one particular yearbook. We were all in like different grades and different classes, but all of our faces were like were like crossed out, except mine, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say whose face was
but this
not
is a
crossed
fucking
out.
setup, though, dude. Like, whoever was behind this was smart, because they were framing me by crossing everybody else's face out except mine. So of course you look at it and you think, "Oh, it was dumbass Jay. He forgot to cross his own out so he wouldn't get caught." But I was just framed by probably one of my sisters.
Which I feel like one of your sisters.
Could have been one of my cousins too.
I don't know. I feel like this is a common theme from our childhood because
I get
somehow,
blamed for everything.
Somehow Jay's name was carved into the bottom of our aunt's dining table. Do you remember that?
And Sin did that one too.
What do you mean do? First of all, I don't know how I got blamed for the table.
The
but
table. Didn't you do the table?
I know nothing of the sort.
Exactly. She
I know
definitely
nothing
did
of
the
this.
table.
But like, here's the thing: if we're constantly trying to, or allegedly, we're trying to frame you so often, could it be that you being the common denominator means something? Could
Absolutely
it be that
not.
maybe you were pissing some people
Yeah,
off?
well, the common denominator, yes, but I admitted that when I first started saying is that I love to prank my people. So it's like, I'm going to prank you to the point where like I'm going to see your reaction within that 24 hours.
So you weren't in it for the long game for us to discover the yearbook? Like,
20 years later, absolutely not.
because I was almost impressed by the commitment there.
But what would be funny is if I'm just so shot that I did it and I don't remember.
I would believe that.
I don't believe
That you're that shot.
No, I have a photographic memory like my father.
Oh, jeez. Our dad claims he remembers when he was in his mother's womb. So I guess Javier's hopping on the Javier bandwagon.
I don't remember the womb, but I do have photographic memory, and I do not remember. It's just not my style.
It's not your style?
Nah. I would have like drawn a mustache. Like I would have probably made you guys look stupid or something.
Yeah, I mean, that crossing out, that looked angry. It looked like
I wasn't that angry when I was a
it
kid.
looked like
I became
rage.
angry when I became an adult or a teenager.
Maybe you were just holding it in, right? And it just came out when you went to draw the mustache and things just got a little carried away.
Yeah, maybe I like woke up out of like a nightmare. I was like possessed, and I was like.
You used to have a lot of nightmares as a kid, dude.
That is true.
It was concerning.
Yeah.
This dude was always like being chased by like Freddy Krueger or Jason or somebody.
Because I used to watch horror movies with my grandma when I was like 5.
Yep. And he would wake up and like tell me
Halloween.
his dream, and I'd look at him like, "Are you okay?" Like
I wasn't okay.
he was not okay.
I'm still not
Hence-
okay.
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
That's
But,
why I scribbled everybody's face. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Nah, it wasn't me.
listen, I just want to side note really quick, right? Jay keeps saying that he liked to prank us.
It wasn't me.
What he really means is he was the biggest antagonizer on the freaking planet, bro. Like, that wasn't pranks. That was you, like, I'm going to get this person angry, right?
Yeah, that's funny. Making people mad is funny.
Okay.
Which is ironic because I be getting mad now. Like I said, like I'm like a grumpy adult now,
Some
and
might
I'm
call
like,
that karma.
Yeah, probably. I could see
Speaking
that.
of it, speaking of how you used to antagonize and how funny you find it to make people angry.
We should probably take a different turn here.
No, we're sticking to this
Okay.
really quick. Should we talk about the J-shaped hole that was in our parents' wall?
I don't know what you're talking about. Doesn't ring a
Wow,
bell.
Mr. Photographic Memory suddenly has amnesia.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Go ahead, Jay. How did our parents get a J-shaped hole in their wall?
How do I start this?
I'm just imagining the Kool-Aid man.
It was so like the Kool-Aid man. It
All right, so
was
this is what
so
happened.
like the Kool-Aid man.
Basically, my parents had just bought a house.
Their first house.
Their first house. The house needed a lot of work. So, they knew they had a long road ahead of them to work on the house. There was a lot of things to do. And before we even got furniture, our parents were working. So they were like, all right, stay at the house and we'll be there after work. So as Sin said, I used to antagonize my sisters and my cousins and everything. So basically, I made a sexist comment towards Cindy because I knew it. Oh, I called her Cindy. She's going to get mad. I made a sexist comment towards Sin because I knew it would piss her off. And I guess she had enough of my shit. So she got up and was storming over to me. And I'm laughing oh, what are you going to do? And she basically pushes me as hard as she can. Except I went through the wall in our new house that needed a bunch of work already.
I don't know if I would call it that I pushed you. I swear to God, your feet came off the floor. It was like a tackle. You know what I mean? Like the rage that you put in me. And he knew what buttons to press. Again, I had identity issues, right? Obviously.
She was standing up for feminists all over the world.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not easy work, but I'm here.
Oh my God.
And that's the thing is that I think because I used to be, don't get me wrong, sexism is horrible and to this day one of my biggest triggers, right? But I think that having a twin brother and always having that dynamic and how people used to view us. And, because you were the boy, you got to do certain things. And because I was the girl, I got to do certain things. So I think that I was constantly trying to work against that double standard.
Yeah.
And that's where, that trigger comes from, right? But Jay, is totally the complete opposite of sexist. He grew up with 3 sisters, very close to my mom. And just always had this amazing, to this day, has this amazing love and respect for females. And it should have been the most ridiculous thing to me, right? I should have just, laughed it off and called it a day like I do these days, right? But he just knew. And then I was in a mood that day, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And I did the water boy.
You put me through the wall.
He made a sexist comment and what's it Adam Sandler in The Waterboy every time he would tackle someone, yee! I'm so sorry to your drums. Much like The Waterboy, I saw Gatorade on his face and I went at him. And then as soon as it happened, our oldest sister Amanda. I really want to make this sound, but it'll be worse than the one I just did. You know what I mean? And we all got headphones on. It's not necessary. But as soon as it happened, our oldest sister, Amanda, looked at us and was like, I'm telling mom. She was like, I'm snitching, bro. And I'll never forget the looks on our faces and the ways.
I know. Those couple of hours before our parents got home was oof.
And we had a friend over, too, when it happened. Mm-hmm. We had a close family friend. He was our age. We were super
He was
tight.
scared, too.
He was the most scared out of all of us. He was like, I don't want to be here for, that feeling when you're at your friend's house and your friend's getting chewed up
I said,
by their parents?
those couple of hours, it was one of those things where it's it feels like the longest hours, but also the shortest because you're oh, no, I don't want 5 o'clock to go.
Right. I'm getting stressed out just thinking about it. Mom walked in with the rage.
And then the best part about it is we both got grounded.
Oh,
which makes no sense because
I knew this was going to come up.
I was pushed through the wall. You know what I mean? But my mom was
you're the victim, is
my
what
mom
you're
was
saying.
no, well, you egged her on, you know what I mean? So you're both punished.
Right.
So I even went to her and I was well, Mom, if somebody shot me because I was hey, you're an asshole, that person would be going to jail, not me. You know what I mean? They'd be you shouldn't have shot him.
Yo,
but,
I swear to God,
I guess
to mom, bro.
I guess
Shout
the
out,
law.
Mom.
I guess the law doesn't matter in your parents' house.
Imagine parenting this kid, dude.
I'm just
with this
saying.
rational. How old were we? 12, right? Because we were
Yeah,
just moving
yeah.
into the house, so we were 12.
7th
It was
grade.
the summer before.
Yep.
Okay. I hesitate.
Wow,
to even,
younger than Tati.
Younger than Tati, yeah. I hesitate to even bring this up because this is in our 30s still a consistent argument that we have, right?
That's why I'm bringing it up on the podcast.
Listen to this, though.
Send in to sendintwinpodcast@gmail.com. Should I have been grounded, guys? Let us know, and we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
I would love that.
I will give you a shout
I would
out.
love to hear what the people say about that.
Let them know in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, and I hope you're on the right side, guys.
Yeah. My side.
Whatever.
So I hesitate to bring this up,
Oh, God.
but this is the ongoing argument, right? What were our punishments? Do you remember? Because
I know my punishment was they took my skateboard away.
right.
And at the time, I thought I was going to be a professional skateboarder. So I was like, my career is ruined. You know? You know what a couple of weeks without your board will do? Forget everything. It's not like riding a bike.
Do you remember what my punishment was?
No talking to boys on the phone.
Nah, you can't stop this swag, bro. You cannot. You don't remember it?
No.
Yo, for the longest time, this dude was so butthurt because my punishment was my mother took my radio away from me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look.
Her radio. And
Look
she
at how he
probably
downplays
found other ways to listen to music. She probably went on the computer and was like, got my music here.
Right. No, I didn't. Yo,
My
we weren't
radio.
allowed to go on the computer after we put
Radio.
you through a wall. Listen, to me, my radio was like your skateboard. Like, my radio, that's me. Don't look at me like that. It ruined my career. Look, I'm doing a podcast. I could have been on the radio by now.
All my boys are outside skateboarding every day. I can't go out skateboard. That's the same thing as Cindy not being able to listen to her radio.
Listen, I could have been on Hot 97 by now, bro. If I would have just had my radio during that time.
Shut up.
Now I'm delayed. Now I'm making my own
Oh my
podcast and trying like
God.
hell to get that fame back. You know what I'm saying? I'm making up for those lost times right now.
It's terrible.
Yo, for years he threw it in my face that his most prized possession was taken from him and my radio was taken from me.
That's how bad it was. I actually forgot. I think I blanked it out of my memory.
It's a trauma.
Yeah.
We'll unpack that. Next episode, we'll have Jay laying on the couch. And we're just going to unpack these things. You know what I mean?
Send in to sendintwinpodcast@gmail.com. Leave in the comments below. Is that a fair trade? Radio for skateboard?
You know what? You're making it vague. Because if they knew what my radio meant to me.
I'm the musician.
Okay, yeah. And?
I didn't think I was playing yet. No, I wasn't.
No, not yet. No, you were still in your
I was
like,
still
heavy
playing the
phase.
skateboard.
Okay, anyway. So that's that question. So another question was, and I think this person knew that it would get us going, right?
Oh, God.
Pet peeves.
Oh, God.
So, do you want to start? You want me to start?
You start.
All right. So we were asked what our pet peeves are.
Oh, I already know what Sins is.
I got a million, right? I'm like easily agitated by things. But so I'll start with my pet peeve. Real quick, shout out to our fellow podcaster, Rocky Powell.
Rocky.
Check out her podcast, Wild Nights with Rocky. She recently did an episode with her brother, and misophonia was brought up repeatedly. I mean, the word had them in a chokehold, right? And I was dying the whole time. So if you don't know, that's when you have, when you're easily agitated by sounds. I think it's more so about like mouth noises, right? I think it's specific to that. Don't quote me, fact check me, whatever. But I have that. It's severe. Jay knows. I have a huge problem with mouth noises. I can't. And when we're doing the podcast, obviously I have on headphones and it's heightened, you know? So Jay taking his loud drink of water or, even Chaos doing his noises into the mic, I could shrivel up at these sounds, right? And like when people are chewing with their mouth open or anything. I don't want to hear. If I can hear your tongue moving in your mouth, I'm gonna lose my mind. You know what I mean? Like if you smoke around me, that's all good and well. You got cat mouth, fine, keep it over there. I don't want to hear every single movement that comes from your mouth, right? So that is like the most common one and one that Jay loves to bring out of me.
That is what I was gonna say.
Is it what you were gonna say?
That's the chewing, yeah.
Yeah, oh, dude, I can't. Even sometimes I listen to podcasts and I'm like, ugh, ugh. Did they just like, ugh? Anyway, what's yours?
Pet peeve. People trying to finish my sentences,
Ooh,
especially when they're wrong.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, when they're wrong, but
Oh, the look on your face when people do that to you.
because my thing is like if it didn't work the first or second time, just let me fucking say it. You know. Just shut the fuck up.
Well, you also really dislike being interrupted too.
Yes.
And you also can very quickly forget what you were about to say.
Absolutely.
So
That's the part.
yeah.
That's the part.
Yeah. The pot does that to you.
Yes.
So I could imagine somebody trying to finish your sentences all the time. Do I do that to you?
No.
Okay. I'm going to be super conscious.
Like
of
I
it
said,
now.
I mean, if you're gonna like do it and it's right, I'm like, yeah. But
Right.
it's like, you know,
And some people don't know how to quit either.
that's what I'm saying. If you do it like twice and it's wrong, and then you go to do it the third time, it's gonna be like, God, dude, just shut up.
Right.
You don't know what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna tell you once you stop talking.
Oh my God. Jay makes his face. Oh man. You got a lot of like rage faces, right?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of rage in me.
But you're such a pleasure to be around regardless. He makes this face when he's interrupted where it's similar to other things that people do to piss you off. But the face is like,
It depends like what type of setting we're into, though.
Right.
It's like what we're talking about. Because I feel like if you're like in a big group
right.
and everybody's talking, it's like, you know, you're like trying to get something out and we start talking about something else. But like, you know, talking with my mom and my sister is tough because, you know, you'll be like in the middle of the story and then something else will happen and then it's just hard to get them back, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Me and my mother and I are realizing at our ages that we may have a little bit of ADHD.
Just a little bit.
It's chaotic, bro. Like trying to talk to the two of us
It's
is
tough.
chaotic. I do feel bad for you in those situations what's bad is we're aware. We really try to reel it in.
It's better to be aware.
You know, at least we don't deny
You
it.
guys should really start working on yourselves.
All right, you work on your rage. We'll work on
Yeah.
our attention spans when people are trying to talk to us. I wish I could describe the face that Jay makes, right? When somebody does that to him, because I've witnessed it a lot.
I'm trying to think of other pet peeves that I have. Oh, people who merge onto the highway but slow down. You're supposed to speed up. You're supposed to blend with traffic. How are you supposed to blend if the traffic's going 55 and you're going 35?
Did this happen to you on your way over here?
Absolutely. Happens every day.
Well, you spend a lot of time commuting, so
Oof.
I can imagine.
A lot of road rage.
Well, I was just gonna say our road rage is probably not our best quality.
Definitely not.
Another
we get
thing
it
we
from
get
our
from
mom.
She's gonna listen and be like, "All you guys do is talk crap about me."
I know, like
We're
somebody
gonna-
that cuts my dad off. He's like, "Oh, what an idiot!"
Yeah. Oh,
You
people
know, they,
these
they
days.
cut me, my mom, and my sister off. We're like, "We'll fucking kill you!"
I have
Be
had.
ready to pull the car over.
Oh man, it's
I'll
gotten
be on the
worse.
phone with like my mom or my sister, and I like start raging, like road raging,
Mm-hmm.
They're like, my mom is like, hey, be careful.
Yeah. My mom.
It's like, I'm about to get out of this car, beat this dude.
Yeah. That actually, you got very close one time to doing exactly that when you were on the phone with her.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that, like, we get it from her. She is not one of those patient, like, quiet people when she's driving. Like, no. We should be worried about her. But considering
She's
that
like
she's
a
like
true
that,
city driver.
she is.
Very
she
good
very much
driver.
is.
Shout out, Mom. You're
She
a great
is.
driver.
Yes. But what's funny is that she's prime example of road rage. But then when we get like that, she's like, you got to be careful. There's, and she's right. There's crazy people out there. Like, you never know
'Cause,
what
like,
they're
when you're-
packing in their car.
Yeah, when
stuff
you're
like
not that in the situation, it's easy to
of course,
say,
yeah.
hey, looking from the outside, you
Right.
need to relax.
Right.
But when you're in it,
I had a bad episode recently with my kids in the car.
yeah.
Sebastian and the kids in the car. There was a woman driving in front of me, and for some reason, because I'm not a tailgater, I can't stand when people are on my ass when I'm driving at all.
When did that change?
Stop it,
She's
yo!
the
I swear to
OD.
God,
She used to
bro.
drive the CRV, bro. And
It
she
was
used to
one
tell-
time. This is the thing about
One
Jay, right? You
time.
could do something one time when you're with him, and that's it. That's your character trait.
Listen, bro, if you tail somebody on a mountain, you don't just tail them that don't happen once every
Yo,
10
that CRV
years.
was on his last leg. All right, it
Yo,
was barely making
imagine
it up the
broken
mountain.
exhaust. We're going over a mountain and she's tailing somebody. So she's like, she's like, get the fuck out of the way. And I'm in the back like,
Yo, that CRV wasn't doing well, bro. If I slowed down, it was gonna come backwards down the mountain. You know what
see what I'm saying?
No, I was young and dumb. But recently, I definitely
Sorry,
was
you
not.
can cut that if you need to.
I definitely was not tailgating this woman. We were on a back road, and there was plenty of space. My witnesses will not admit, but they'll co-sign this, right? Yo, she kept brake checking me, bro. She kept like slowing down and I got people behind me. Like, she's gonna get me rear-ended, and she kept bugging for no. I swear to God, Jay, if you would have been there, you would have been out of the car so fast. I was tripping because my kids are in the car. Like, don't play when my kids are in the car, bro. Like, getting worked up just talking about. I remember her license plate too, bro. To this day, I remember her license plate and her car. And if I see that car again, we're gonna have some words.
It's all like Donkey Kong.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't. Anyway, I'm getting pissed off as I'm talking about it, bro. Like, I'm sweating a little bit. Let's move on.
So
Okay.
all those that are just listening and not watching, Sin just literally changed colors right in front of all of us.
Woo! I have a sticker on the back of my car that says, "If you hit me while my kids are in the car, I will whoop your ass till the cops come." I feel like a lot of these questions are setting us up for you to make fun of me or for you to like come at me with something. But another question that we got was, what were some things that we used to make fun of each other about the most? And I have one that I can't wait to bring up, right? Because you used to make fun of me so much about it, bro. Should I say it? Or do you want to say one?
Accent.
Oh,
accents.
I set myself up to just get made fun of by Jay just now. To
Oops.
remake fun of me about all of the things I'm sensitive about. I'm just kidding. Should we talk about my accent? That's actually something that came up. No surprise.
Yeah. Wait, came up in the questions?
Yeah. So I guess we should address it.
Yeah, like Cindy's city accent used to come out hard sometimes.
Right. It still does, depending on who
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, I
talking
think
to.
everybody, especially like.
Right, because
Yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
that too.
Yeah, me too. Especially you get angry,
Oh, forget about it.
Start getting gangster on them,
Right. It was brought up how I pronounce certain words.
Yeah.
That's what it. And I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, now I'm like really self-conscious about how I'm speaking. Now that we're talking about it, I'm like so self-conscious about it. But I don't even think that you and I have the same accents, or maybe we do, and I'm just like looking at it differently or whatever. But I say coffee. and
Coffee.
Like,
Talk.
and you would think that because we're raised by the same people, we'd have the same accents. But
No, because our parents have like Spanish accents.
Right.
I don't have a Spanish accent.
No, but they don't have like thick Spanish accents. Mom more so sometimes.
Not to
You think?
us.
Oh yeah, you right.
Like when my friends like imitate like my dad.
Right. Oh.
You
Yeah,
know,
maybe
like
I
they're
just
like,
don't know.
oh yeah, like your dad was like, hey Jay, you know, like they like to them like they say it with a little bit of a Spanish accent. That's the way
Right.
they hear it. We don't because to us a Spanish accent is like our grandparents.
Right.
You know, that like they speak like broken
Straight
English.
immigrants,
Yeah,
right.
like broken English and stuff. You know.
That's true.
I also think it's like weird when you grow up in the Hudson Valley because it's like the city's there and you get like the New York like city
Influence.
accent, but also like a lot of people up here are like super country, so you also get a little bit of the like country accent.
Right. It's
You know?
confusing
Yeah, I
up
know.
here,
That's
bro.
why I think like if you grow up here, you kind of do a mix of everything.
Yeah.
Like I do, definitely. Like,
Right.
you know.
It's true.
And like depending where you're at or like who you're around, you know, everybody's like accent changes a little bit, I think, you know.
It makes me so happy to hear you say this. Because when we were growing up, you used to give me the hardest time whenever like my accent would change. You'd be like, you know, however you used to make fun of me or whatever. What was it? What's the famous line that you love to make fun of me about? It's not your property. Yeah.
This ain't your property.
I can't stand you. So yeah, my accent changes a lot. It depends on like I also spent a lot of time because I work in corporate America for the man, as Jay would say. So I also feel self-conscious about it, and I tend to cover up my accent a lot. And I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day too. I make such an effort to cover my accent and make myself sound more presentable.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second the doors close, I'm like, yo, this son of a bitch over here was, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So you used to make fun of me about accents.
But like also you think about like let's say like somebody who doesn't speak Spanish, you know, just like you know, is speaking to somebody who speaks broken English. Like, you know, they'll like speak like simpler English, but almost with like a Spanish accent.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That's just
for sure.
because that's just I think it's just like a communication thing and like trying to like connect with somebody. You know what I mean?
Well, that's another thing too. Is I speak a lot of Spanish in my household, and when I switched to English, around Spanish speaking people, now I got like the thickest Spanish accent.
Well, the other thing though too is like if you speak English to somebody who speaks more Spanish and knows a little bit of English or speaks broken English, if you pronounce some of the words in English, like if you're speaking Spanish, they'll understand better.
Yeah, if you throw a better accent on, not a better accent, excuse me. If you throw a Spanish accent on an English word,
They'll understand better because that's the way they say it.
that's true too.
You know,
Yeah, we just confused out here, bro.
Spanglish.
That's all it is. We're confused. Spanglish, bro. I don't even know. Sometimes my brain is trying to just spit a word out, and I get caught up because I don't know what language I'm speaking anymore. Another thing you used to make fun of me about. So when we were growing up, I thought I was going to be a singer. A famous singer. I was like, I'm going to be a star. And every time I sang, Jay told me I sounded like Shakira. And he didn't mean it as a compliment.
I forgot about that.
I did
That's
it.
fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
Shakira.
That's my girl too, yo. I was such a Shakira fan. I still am, yo. She just killed it at the VMAs. They just honored her, so she did a massive mashup performance, and it was sick. And the whole time I'm watching her, I'm like, I could have been her if Jay didn't make me feel like it was stupid.
Shut up.
La, 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 la.
Oh my god, it's great. That is great.
So, if
You
this
should
podcast.
just do Shakira songs in karaoke.
I was just going to say, if this podcast doesn't work out, I'm just going to become a Shakira impersonator. Catch me on the strip in Times Square, yo. I'll be the one whose hips don't lie. I never made fun of you. Now I'm realizing this. I didn't make fun of you for nothing, bro.
That's not true.
That's not true? Come on. Here's the thing, like, I grew up with so many insecurities, and I was like sensitive about me. I was defensive. I was a very defensive person growing up. Jay has the confidence of like 15 people. So I could say whatever I wanted to Jay, and he'd be like, "Yeah, well, you're stupid."
Especially when I was a kid, I just didn't give a fuck.
Yo, he cared about nothing, bro. So like, I could sit there.
I
And
mean,
try to make fun of
obviously,
him.
everybody has insecurities,
Fooled me.
But
I used to be like, "That's
some
why you
people
ain't
like me are just better at hiding it.
I used to be like, "That's why you ain't got no beard," and he'd be like, "You cry yourself to sleep, you loser."
Be like, at least I have friends.
Yo, that was one you used to tell me a lot. He used to tell me that all the time. Well, at least I have friends. And I'd be like, they're degenerates just like you. Oh, my God.
Oh shit! Good times.
I'm glad you think so. We just covered the fact that I got made fun of a lot growing up. They'd be like, "Sim, why are you so defensive? Have you met my brother?" Oh, man. All right, what else? We had a question come in asking me who does my hair every episode. I wonder who submitted that question. But shout out to my daughter, Tatiana. She literally does my hair every time we
I thought
record.
you were gonna say she asked the question.
It was her.
Oh, okay.
It was her. She
Oh,
definitely.
wow. Sorry, it's the pot.
I had to
Went over
give you
my
some
head.
time to catch
Sorry.
up.
Edit that. No. Out now.
So my daughter Tatiana, she does my hair, sometimes does my makeup, and I'm about to have her in studio to make sure I'm looking right throughout these episodes, because these guys don't be telling me when I have hairs out of place, when I got eyeliner running or nothing.
We don't know nothing.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
You just want me to look bad on camera.
Chaos definitely does.
He's bald and I put my hair in a ponytail. We don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're dudes.
We just show up good looking.
Oh,
Or
I forgot.
show up looking good.
Was good looking that right?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm all fucked up today.
It's the pot.
It's the
It's the
pot.
pot. It's the pot.
So that concludes the questions for today. Like I said, we're going to continue to do Q&As. We might just add it to the end of every episode, depending on how many questions you guys flood us with. Unfortunately, we were pressed for time, so we didn't get to cover everything, but we'll keep this going. So like Jay said, submit your questions, thoughts, things you might want us to talk about or cover, or whose side you might be on regarding the hole in the wall dilemma.
And if you are interested in being on the podcast,
Also,
if you have a business or you're an entertainer or you do something in the Hudson Valley that you want to spread the word about, you can also email us.
absolutely. You can email us at sinandtwinpodcast@gmail.com. Hopefully you're following our Instagram, Sin and Twin Podcast. And I think that's it. But feel free to drop comments about what you think or your feedback, anything like that. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all the good things. And that's it, right? Jay, what do you got coming up? Anything going on with Hamilton Fish?
Yeah, actually, September 23rd, we're playing at Shillelagh Tavern in Astoria, Queens. We will be headlining, followed by our friends in Last Minute, a band from New Jersey, Something Bitter, band from New York City, and also Absolutely Wolves, band based out of Queens and the Hudson Valley, just like Hamilton Fish. So
Dope. And
it's
that'll
gonna
be
be
where?
a good time. Shillelagh Tavern, Astoria, Queens.
Sweet.
September 23rd, 8 o'clock. Be there. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna have a bunch of cool people in the building.
I heard the chick that's gonna be working the door is bad as hell.
She's also very annoying.
You can't let me have a
Is the
moment.
host of this podcast.
Your girl will be there, so come through. It's gonna be a good time, dope ass music, and we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Okay,
You ready to get out of here?
I'm ready.
All right, on 3, we're gonna do our piece. You ready?
Ready.
You ready, Chaos? 1, 2, 3. Peace.